Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful dress. It's a high-low dress with ruffle and it's a turtleneck. If this is what you're interested in, please keep watching. So here is my fabric, is an organza with design. So I got 2.5 yards of fabric, and here I have 1 yard and 25 inches on fold here. 1 yard and 25 inches, and this is the leftover, the remaining one. So this is how I fold this. I fold 1, 2, so I folded into 4. Okay, I'm cutting the front and the back together. You first of all fold into 2 and then you fold again into 4, and the length of this material is by 60, so you work with your length. Okay, if you want yours to be as long as the one on the thumbnail, you can do that. But for us here, my client has is not too long, she wants it short. So this is my starting line, and then the neckline I'm working with is 3 inches neck width. For the front is 3 inches also, and for the back is 1 inches. Okay, so the shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, and then I'm going to slant the shoulder by 1 and I'll connect that. So sorry guys, the chalk is not showing very well, but if you follow me carefully you will understand. So I'm curving out the back neckline now. It's a round neck, and then I'm curving the front one now. I couldn't find another color of chalk that can show, so sorry. Okay, so next we are going to be marking our armhole, which is your round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So in her case we are working with 8, but I'll mark 7.5 because it's sleeveless. Okay, I'll mark 7.5 because it's sleeveless. So this is it, 7.5. And here I'll be marking the same 7.5 I marked on the shoulder. That's the shoulder divided by 2. Then I'll connect it straight to the shoulder slant this way. Okay, so here I'm getting the midpoint of that shoulder line. Then I'll come in by 1/2 inch. Okay, then I'll connect to the shoulder slope like this. So next I'll be marking the bust divided by 4, which is 9.75 plus 2 inches or 1.5. Okay, I did 1.5. 1 inch for sewing allowance, 1/2 inch for ease. So you can do 1 inch for sewing allowance, 1 inch for ease. That's 2 inches for your allowance. So what I added here is 1.5. Okay, so here I'm going to be getting the full length of this dress. So the full length I'm working with is 46. 46 minus 7. I want the ruffle to be 7, is 39, right? Well, here I'm marking 40 inches. I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'm marking 40 inches. So, but the one on the thumbnail, I think the length is like 55 or so. The length is like 55 or 52. Then you now add your 7 inches for your ruffle. It will come down very well. Depend on the length, the height of your client. Okay, but my client, she's very tall. Her height is 62. Her height is 62. So this is how I'm going to connect from the armhole down to the end like this, like an A shape. You flay it out. Okay, from the armhole like this, you connect it down like an A shape. Okay, so sometimes I like to cross-check the hip measurement to be sure it will size my client. So my client hip is 48. So here I have 12, so I still have extra. So now I'm going to be taking the length. This is 25, no, 27 rather, where is going to be the high side of the dress. So I marked 27, but I will advise you use 25 so that the high-low will be very pronounced. Okay, use 25 so that the high-low will be very pronounced. So here I'm connecting this. So you connect to the end of the dress, flay it out just like the way you saw me the way I keep my ruler before, like this. Okay, you connect it down to the end. Okay, so now I'll be cutting this out. So if you want to make yours to be long, like the one on the thumbnail or the video you saw on the beginning of this video, you need 3 years at least, because we are trying to follow the pattern of this material. So if you're working with pattern, you'll be wasting a lot of material. So here I'm cutting the back neckline first. Okay, the back neckline first, and on the shoulder I'm going to leave ½ inch for joining allowance. Okay, I did not cut exactly on the shoulder line. Okay, so now I'm going to chalk. This is the 27 inches I marked here. I'm going to connect it on the other side also. So I chalked it on the other side also, so that when I open it, I'll see where I marked. Okay, like I said, use 25, but I use 27 here, but use 25 so that the high-low is going to be very pronounced. So this is where I chalked. So I'm going to connect from that point now down. So I'm using the left hand side, the left side of the dress. So I'll connect it down. Okay, keep my ruler this way, and then I'm going to connect it. So if you want yours to be longer than this, maybe you want 50 or you want 52 or 55, maybe your full length you want 55, just take out your 7 inches for your ruffle and then you cut the other ones. Okay, so but for us, my client, her length is 46. That is what we use. She said she doesn't want hers to be very long, so we just use 46, and we use 2.5 yards. So if you want yours to be very long, you need like 3 yards, because you're following the pattern of this material. If your material don't have pattern, you can use 2 yards, it will be enough. Okay, you can use 2 yards, it will be enough for you. Sorry, 2.5, not 2. You can use 2.5 yards to be enough, no matter the length of your dress. So here is the front. I want to cut out the front neckline. Okay, so here I'll be cutting out the front neckline now. Okay, so after this now we are going to open up the back. So here is the back. Here is the back. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to have an opening at the back. So we were using 4.5. I use 4.5 for this. 4.5, and I'll open it up with my scissors. So I'll use a bias tape to turn the opening, but for the neckline I will not turn it because it's going to have a collar. Okay, see, so I'm using a band for the neckline, but for here I'll use a bias tape to turn it round this way. Okay, so here is the ruffle. What I did is ×3. You measure the round down of your dress, you times it ×3. So this is it. So this is the short one and this is the longer one. Okay, the long one is measured 8, the short one is measured 6 inches, while the long one is measured 8 inches. So I added 1 inch to that. Remember what I minus was 7, so you add 1 inch for allowance. So this, you can just go and fold the edge and sew it round. Okay, and sew it round, or you use English weaving, which is what I'm going to be using. I will do English weaving. Okay, and then you gather one part of the ruffle, the upper part of the ruffle. So here I've turned the back neckline with a bias tape, as you can see. So next I'll be joining the two shoulders together. You place them right side facing right side facing each other, like this. Okay, like this, right side facing each other, and then you sew up the shoulder line here. Okay, you sew the shoulder using ½ inch, you sew the other side also. And then when you are done with that, you're going to turn the sleeve with a bias tape, just like you did for the neckline, the neck opening. I'll be turning the armhole with a bias because it's not going to have a sleeve, so I'll be using a bias tape to turn the armhole. So here guys, I'm done doing that. As you can see, I'm done turning the armhole with a bias tape, and I also shape with half an inch, 1 inch. Okay, see, after shaping, after sewing your shoulder, you turn the sleeve, the armhole with a bias tape, and then you shape and serge. So after shaping it, I overlock it. I used 1 inch to shape down. Okay, so next I'll be measuring this to cut the collar or the band for the neck. Okay, so you measure round. So what I have here is 18.5 to 19 inches, I think so. 19.5. I have 19.5 inches, the round neck. So I'm going to be cutting that out. And for this down part, you're going to measure round it down so that you can cut your ruffle. So this is the ruffle. I've joined them together and I gather one side, gather the upper side to fit the measurement I have on the dress. Okay, so you measure around your dress and cut times 3 of it. When you cut the times 3, maybe when you get what you get is 20, times 3 of 20 is 60. Okay, so after that you just gather it to come back to 20, and then this down you can just sew it with half inch, just fold it a little, not bold folding, just a little folding. And then, or you can just use English weaving, which is what I'm going to use. I'll be using English weaving. Okay, so here I'm going to be joining it this way, right side facing the right side. Remember, it's 2 steps, so the step side is the right side. Okay, so you sew, you close up the side of your ruffle, sew it down. Okay, and then make sure you place them right sides facing each other. This is the right side, so you keep it like this, right sides facing the right side of the dress, and then you sew it round with half inch. Sew it round with half inch, and after that you overlock it because these organza frills a lot, so you need to overlock it. So this is what I'm going to be using for the bishop collar. So this is measured, I think 22 inches, but what we need is 19.5, right? So this is measured 22.5 inches. So I'll just close up one side, and the length is 2. I'll reduce it. I want 1.5. Then I'll use half inch to sew, and then use 1 inch. It will be the collar. Okay, as you can see, I've reduced it to 1.5. So I use half inch to sew, and then 1 inch will be the collar. So I'm going to turn it this way and close up one side. The wrong side, I'll turn it right side facing the right side, and then I'll close up one side. So I've done that, and this is how I'm going to attach it to the neckline. This is the part that I closed. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to place it right side facing the right side of the neckline like this. Then I'll sew round. I'm going round. When I get to the end like this, I will stop like 1 inch before then, and then I'm going to turn this up, turn this like this, then I'll close it up and then turn it back and finish it up. Okay, this is just to avoid maybe it's not enough or it's much, so this is what I want to do. Just sew it round. When you get to that end, you fold and close it up and cut out the excess. Okay, so I'll just go and do that, and I will be back. Okay, so guys, here I'm done joining this to the dress. So I'll just go and do English weaving for this. If you don't want your ruffle to be this big, you can also reduce it. So I'll be putting a pressing button here. Okay, putting a pressing button here. So, and that's all. So you search the neckline and top stitch on it. As you can see, I top stitch on the neckline on the collar. Okay, and then you do English weaving for the down parts if you want to. So if you want a bow at the neckline, you can also create a bow and put at the back, but my client don't want that, so that's why I didn't do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe to this channel. I love you guys, and I'll be seeing you in my next tutorial. Bye.